I love him, but he just wants to absolutely tear me up. That's what he does. Caleb Calhoun. I wrote a column that Tennessee's rushing offense is elite, and he is just like, no, what are you, crazy, Dave? Let's get to four downs now. And it's brought to you by our friends at Zen Sports.
Four downs. Four questions. Four answers. The Dave Hooker Show.
Four
Downs. A presentation of offthehooksports.com.
Okay, so we get to four downs. Cooper Mays will tell us which down it is. But first of all, my contention has been, and I was pretty hot on this early through a couple of games, I don't think this is a Tennessee football team that's going to regularly hang 60 on opponents like last week. I think this is a Tennessee football team that is going to play a little bit more ball control, and that is just fine. I'm not saying they're going back to the 1940s and that they're going to run the wing tee or anything like that. But this is a football team, I believe, especially with Cooper Mays back in the fold, that can run the football. And Tennessee ranks very, very highly in running the football. And it's not just high, Caleb. It's really high, as I pointed out in my column. So far, and I think we're almost to the point 4 or 5 weeks into the season where you can use some of these numbers. They're not just good in the SEC. They're good in the entire nation when it comes to running the football.
So what? Yes. Tennessee, they are averaging over 200 yards a game, and a lot of that was with Cooper Mays out, which works in Tennessee's favor, which we'll get to. But yes, the major caveat is, if you really look at the data, they have not played anybody good at stopping the run yet, and I mean nobody.
I want to do that, but let me first ask your thoughts on the eye test. When you see them run the football, and regardless of opponent, which is hard to do, I understand. But when you see them run the football, what do you think of this crew with and without Cooper Mays? Because I'll tell you what I think.
I think the right side of the line is pretty good with Javonte Spraggins and Cooper Mays. And even, honestly, we have to say this, Dave, recently, Gerald Mincey. I got to give Gerald Mincey some credit. The last couple of games, he started in place of Jeremiah Crawford last 2 weeks ago, and we didn't really hear any negatives from him after all the issues in camp. I see the right side blocking well, and I think the running backs, and this is a big one, the running backs run hard, particularly Jalen Wright. I feel like every time Jalen Wright is tackled, he's still going to try to get 3 extra yards out of it when he can. And that stands out a lot to me. Is Jalen Wright runs really, really hard. It reminds me of, dare I say this, because Fred always talks about, and he's right, Fred White, about how Jamal Lewis was probably a better back than Travis Henry. But Dave, Travis Henry ran harder, didn't he? Let's be honest. Travis Henry ran really hard.
Ran harder than
Jamal Lewis. Travis Henry ran harder.
Well, Jamal Lewis, I think, would have run hard. He gets hurt the 1998 national championship team, and then he realizes that he's a top-tier NFL talent, and I thought he shut it down to some extent towards the end of his career.
Possibly, but I don't think anybody ever ran as hard as Travis Henry did. I mean, he wanted, he embraced contact. He would truck you every time he touched the ball.
Quick Uncle Dave story. Most uncomfortable question ever right after Jamal Lewis runs a 4.32 40 in the pro day, and he's going to be a top pick. I begin a question with Jamal. Obviously a disappointing career at Tennessee, but you're able to run a 4.2. What does that mean? And he did not like that question. So maybe that was a bit of a loaded question, but it was. I mean, he mailed it in for his last year, and that's fine.
They should have started Travis Henry that whole season. I remember watching Tennessee in that 99 season. They should have started Travis Henry. Travis Henry was the better back in 99 than Jamal Lewis. It wasn't a question.
I agree. Coop, what do people need to do before we get to four downs?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
All right. Thank you very much. So let's get to first down. Coop
here. First down.
All right. So of Tennessee's wins and the times that they've been really good against the run, it's been a lot of unproven teams. They've been good running the football against teams that have trouble stopping the run. South Carolina's 75th, Virginia 111, and Florida 45th. So how much does that factor into Tennessee and their ability to run the football? Caleb, because they haven't faced anybody that's fantastic against the run, not even close.
It's factored a lot into it. You brought up Florida being 45th, and Florida, how'd they do in the first half running the ball against Florida? They struggled a lot. And so I think this is a big deal. Now, I'm going to be fair. Cooper Mays wasn't in the game, and the running game did pick up in the second half. It did. And even though Florida was playing not, to run out the clock, I don't think they were playing to let Tennessee move the ball on them in the second half. And Tennessee did move the ball on them in the second half. But as a team, Jalen Wright averaged under 4 yards a carry in that game. And so that is a major issue. Now, in yards per attempt, Florida's actually much, much worse. They're down at like number 98 because of that one Kentucky game where Ray Davis just torched them on the ground. And UTSA is the best run defense Tennessee's faced by numbers at number 59. However, level of competition matters. UTSA, they would be number 111 if they were playing SEC competition. So
here's my retort. Tennessee hasn't just been good. They've been very good running the football, 20 yards better than the second place team in yards per game, and that would be LSU. So Tennessee, 231 yards per game, LSU with 210 yards per game. So they played very well against maybe very average run defenses. Tennessee also the only team in the SEC that has 6 yards or more per carry average. So I think that is very strong. Now, if you want to look at nationally, where does Tennessee rank up? And this was written last week if you're looking on offthehooksports.com, but let me share the updated numbers with you. Tennessee is 7th against running the football, I should say, with 231 yards per game. Their average is only behind Oregon. Tennessee, 6.18 yards per rush. Oregon, 7 yards per rush. So I think this is a very, very good running football team, regardless of the opponent. And we'll find out because Texas A&M, their run defense is pretty darn good. So if you look at Texas A&M and what Tennessee will face this weekend, it's a little bit of a different level. We'll get to that right now. Second down, Coop.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. So as far as rushing defense, Texas A&M is 9th in the nation, giving up just 84 yards per game. That is phenomenal. And I don't need to tell you that ranks number 1 in the SEC by about a dozen yards over Kentucky. So we'll know if this is a really good running football team, which I think it is, in about a week. I think we'll have a good idea. If Tennessee can roll out 175 yards, I think that's a very successful day. What would you judge Tennessee, just strictly given yards rushing, about how good they played or how well they played running the football against A&M?
I mean, the mark is 5 yards a carry, so they got to average 5 yards a carry as a team on the ground. And so you're right, we will know. And there's still a little bit of grain of salt with Texas A&M because they were in such a hard fought game with Alabama. Like, how does the defensive line get motivated to still, as you said last year, play with your hair on fire? Because that's very necessary to have a good rush defense consistently. And will they be ready to do that knowing they lost last week?
Well, remember this too. Alabama's playing the style of ball. I'm not saying they're as good, but they're playing the style of ball where you are beat up the week after. Not quite to that extent, but closer to that than the Lane Kiffin type of extent.
More than ever before, because Alabama's relying a lot more on the run than in the past.
Agreed. Like pre-Lane Kiffin, at least. Brought to you by Zen Sports, the new sports book in Tennessee, revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. That means no more deposit bonus that turn into deposit nightmares. On Zen Sports, what you see is what you get with their cash rewards program. You get a lot of cash for a welcome bonus. Earn an unlimited 5% cash back on your betting volume for your first 15 days when you sign up with promo code HOOKED. That's right, HOOKED. Unlimited 5% cash back. Keep betting, keep earning with up to 3% cash back on your betting volume every month. After that, refer friends to earn a betting percentage of their betting volume as cash rewards too. Zen Sports bringing the cash back to Tennessee. So if you bet big on sports, you want to be betting on Zen Sports. Zen Sports betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 and over. And in Tennessee to bet What down are we on, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Maye's here. Third down.
That's exactly right. It is third down. So Cooper Mays, the fact that they did this without him, they ran the football at a high level, and now he's back. How do you factor Cooper Mays' exclusion early and inclusion now? Here's my take. They were good without him running the football. Again, I factor in the opponent, but they're better now with him running the football. And they've gotten some guys like Ollie Lane, some big experience at center. Andre Courig, more work at left guard than he would have gotten otherwise because he wasn't going to start. So I think the Cooper Mays injury could actually, it cost him the Florida game, I believe, but could play in Tennessee's favor as far as this offensive line gelling and into an elite running football team. You?
So I say this will be a test this week. This is a big projection for me. I'm with you. I think they're much better with Cooper Mays at center. I don't think him being out helped them develop depth at all. Ollie Lane was just not good at center, and he had 3. If you develop depth, that means you got better over time playing the position. Ollie Lane did not get better over time playing center, and Andre Courig was never good at left guard. So I never saw enough development from him to actually believe in them ever.
Fair. I don't know that Ollie Lane got worse. I think he played better competition. And I think
I don't think he got worse. I just don't think he got better.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And
now I will say, to be fair to Ollie Lane, he struggled at left guard against South Carolina. But again, he was asked to play left guard on Thursday before Saturday. So he wasn't like that. He might get better at playing left guard this week, but he can't play center.
No, very true. All right. Fourth down, Coop.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
Will fans be okay if this is more of a running football team, a team that a convincing victory is 40-17 instead of 66-23? I mean, will fans be okay with that, or will they always? Well, let me just ask you, because I have a theory on that.
Yeah, I think if Tennessee goes 10-2 as a running team, or even 9-3 this year, fans are totally fine. I think fans are very aware of what this team is, and I think that's going to be enough for them to stay above water until next year when everybody's excited about Nico. And so, yeah, no, I think they can live with that.
I think it's fine if they get to 10-2, so you jumped ahead, but I think Tennessee fans will be edgy the whole time. That this is not the offense they saw in 2022, and they'll be a little bit worried. So are they going to be okay? They'll be okay if they win 10 games or 11 games, but I think you'll be edgy up until that point. And it's like, oh, is this really going to happen? And one note from the message board, that he agreed with you, might be true, but Lane will be a much better offensive lineman. Had to play center. If you can even take reps at center in this league, you'd be okay elsewhere on the line. So I think they do build some depth, but I agree with you that he didn't go out there and light the world on fire.
I'll tell you what, with Tennessee fans, forget Tennessee fans. If Tennessee goes 10-2 as a running team this year, do you know how good that is for Josh Heupel? Because it's huge. Because think about it. Defensive coordinators, everybody was spending the offseason figuring out this Josh Heupel offense, weren't they? Everybody was studying it and trying to figure it out. If Heupel adjusts and runs the ball this year, they're back on their heels and trying to figure out exactly what they can do to stop him, aren't they?
Yep.